Imagine a secret so profound that not even the darkest rooms of French castles dared whisper it. A secret that, if revealed, could shatter the image of an entire monarchy and rewrite the history of Europe. This secret wasn't kept in books, wasn't entrusted to nobles, and didn't pass through the mouths of courtiers. It was locked inside a single man, a man who would never see the light of day again. Behind the cold walls of royal fortresses, there was a prisoner who could have no name, no face, and above all, no past. A man watched over by guards bearing deadly orders. If anyone tried to see him, they were to be eliminated without question. No other prisoner in France received such attention, such caution, and such shadows surrounding him. This man spent decades in silence, secretly transferred from prison to prison, always accompanied by the same jailer loyal to King Louis XIV. With each transfer, protocols were repeated like grim rituals: total isolation, constant surveillance, and a mask fastened to his face. A mask that was not a symbol of punishment but of protection. Protection not for him, but for the kingdom. The French crown feared that face more than it feared its greatest enemies. It feared that if the world saw him, it would understand a truth capable of destroying the reign of the Sun King. A truth so fragile and explosive that it could provoke revolts, bloody disputes over succession, and perhaps the collapse of an entire dynasty. Therefore, the masked man lived in the shadows, like the ghosts of a forbidden past. Accounts from those who guarded him describe him as educated, calm, and disciplined. He wrote elegantly, read sophisticated books, and behaved like someone born into nobility. This behavior fueled disturbing hypotheses. Who, within royalty, would need to be erased in this way? What blood trait made his existence so dangerous? The most famous theory, and the one that most terrifies historians, says that he was the twin brother of Louis XIV. A second heir, hidden by the state to prevent civil wars. 2 babies, 2 possible crowns, and only one throne. If this truth were to come to light, the entire legitimacy of the Sun King could crumble. Another, an even more sinister theory claims that he was the true firstborn son of Louis XIII, a king as supposed. Older brother? If this were proven, Louis XIV would not be the legitimate sovereign of France, and this revelation, in times of political conspiracies, would be equivalent to declaring war on the French state itself. There are also scholars who believe that this man knew too much. Secret documents, hidden pacts, betrayals committed within the palace. Information that could never be revealed, as it would tarnish the golden shine of the French monarchy and expose secrets that remain hidden in the royal archives to this day. The strangest thing is that he was never tortured, never starved, never treated like a common criminal. On the contrary, he received good food, quality clothing, and better accommodations than many exiled nobles. This contradictory treatment is the greatest proof that his identity was valuable to be destroyed, and too dangerous to be revealed. For more than 30 years, the masked prisoner lived among clean cells, silent fortresses, and the cold gaze of guards who feared making any mistake. He never tried to escape. He never tried to reveal himself. He never broke the silence. As if he knew that his fate was sealed from birth, and that his freedom would mean chaos for France. His jailer, Saint Mars, was more than a simple guard. He was the guardian of a royal secret. He followed this prisoner for decades, as if both were pieces in a macabre game determined by the crown. Saint Mars' loyalty and silence helped to extinguish the last chance for the world to discover the truth. When the masked man died in 1703, his death was treated with the same calculated coldness that marked his life. His body was hastily buried, his name falsely recorded, and all his belongings burned. The objective was obvious: to eliminate any trace that could link that face to royal blood. They Bastilled the last prison where he was held, kept his secrets until the day it fell. When revolutionaries stormed its walls in 1789, many documents were destroyed, especially those concerning secret prisoners. Among them, possibly, papers containing final clues about the true identity of the masked man. Over the centuries, historians have tried to reconstruct its history from fragments, incomplete records, and scattered accounts. Each new discovery raises even more questions. and each silence in the archives confirms what many believe. Someone did everything to erase this dangerous past. The enigma of the man in the iron mask became a monument to the absolute power of monarchy, a reminder that kings can manipulate lives, identities, and even history itself to protect the throne. Nothing, absolutely nothing, was above the secret this man carried. And that's what makes this story so sinister. It's not legend, it's not fiction, it's a real mystery, supported by official documents, royal decrees, and centuries of carefully maintained silence. The French crown truly hid someone so important that their very existence needed to disappear. The mystery remains unsolved, faceless, nameless, untrue. And perhaps it was planned, never to be revealed. There are secrets that royalty preferred to keep hidden rather than allow the people access to them. And this, without a doubt, is the darkest of them all. The man who lived and died masked was not merely a prisoner. He was the key to a political danger so devastating that it still haunts France today. A man who could not exist, because his very existence was a greater threat than any enemy of the kingdom. The dark secret of the French crown is not just his story. It's the story of what he represented, a truth so terrible that the monarchy preferred to erase, cover up, and bury it forever. Because some truths weren't meant to be told, they were meant to be hidden behind a mask. And so, centuries later, the faceless man remains alive in the world's imagination, a symbol of how much power is capable of sacrificing, concealing, and destroying in order to remain untouched. The secret existed, the prisoner existed, the mask existed, and the silence is one still screams throughout history.